Hi, everybody. You're listening to Radio Cherry Bombe, and I'm your host, Carrie Diamond. I'm in Maine right now on vacation, but I recorded a few shows before I left. Today's guests, Reenie Karim and Alice Ma of the brand new social media food competition, Picky Eaters. Learn what the show is all about, how they condense a 40-minute cooking show down to 3 minutes or less, and how they snagged some great guests like Padma Lakshmi. We also talk about Reenie's book, Make It Plant-Based Southern, and her time competing on Gordon Ramsay's Next Level Chef, and learn how Alice founded the modern media company Mad Realities, and how she and some friends almost bought an original copy of the U.S. Constitution. True story. Our conversation was recorded at Newsstand Studios at Rockefeller Center in New York City. Stay tuned for our chat. And if you have any Maine recos for me, DM me on Instagram at @CarrieBomb. I have a few Cherry Bombe housekeeping things for you. I would love for all of you to subscribe to our Substack. You can find it at cherrybomb.substack.com. We've got free tiers and paid tiers and lots of great content for everybody. You could check out my recent interviews with Molly Ye and Lana Lago Marcini, two Cherry Bombe faves. Also, the new issue of Cherry Bombe is out, and it is available right now at your favorite magazine shops, bookstores, and culinary stores. I just found out that Scotland's very first culinary bookstore, the Cookbook Shop of Edinburgh, is now carrying our print magazine. I am so excited. Some of you don't know this, but I am part Scottish, so I am thrilled, and I can't wait to visit one day and meet the Scotland Bomb Squad. The next big Cherry Bombe event is Farmers and Makers, and it's taking place in Paso Robles, California, September 25th to 27th. It's a weekend of tastings, dinners, conversations, and special events in honor of the International Year of the Woman Farmer and the women behind what we eat and drink. Weekend passes are on sale right now at cherrybombe.com. The link is in our show notes. Now, let's check in with today's guests. Reenie Karim, Alice Ma. Welcome to Radio Cherry Bombe.
Thank you for having us.
Reenie, I should say welcome back.
I know. I didn't get the pleasure of chatting with you, but our best friend, Chrissy. But I'm glad to be here
Chrissy
with you.
Tracy, who recently got married, right?
I know.
Congrats, Chrissy.
Congrats, Chrissy, if you're listening.
You were here when you did your fantastic cookbook. You wrote a cookbook and you edited an entire series of cookbooks.
Wow. Just a year ago.
It was just a year ago?
I know. That I was talking about it at least. Yeah. I was thinking about that walking over / getting lost in Rockefeller Plaza. Like, oh, last time I was here, I was very big and very tired after the books coming out and promoting them. Still tired, but the show Picky Eaters is such a fun thing to come in here and to chat about because it definitely feels much closer to a passion project.
Alice Ma, this is your first time on Radio Cherry Bombe.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I feel like it's been a long time coming. Because I remember, Carrie, I think you reached out to us. It was like November 2024 when you first saw Shop Cats, one of our other shows. And I remember you were one of the first people to email us.
Oh, I love the show so much. I still do. And Michelle Adana.
A star.
The host.
A star.
Such a star. And then you two were on our power list. And you presented at Jubilee 2025, right? It was so much fun to see you on stage.
That was so fun. Yeah.
And Reenie, you are on our Future Food 50. So you're both superstars in our eyes. Let's talk about Picky Eaters first, because your show just debuted. By the time this airs, a few episodes will be, tell us all the platforms. Instagram, where else can people watch it?
Everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Wherever there's a feed, we want to find it. Eventually, we'll be there. But we're starting with those 3.
And how did you pick Reenie as the host?
Oh, my God. So there's so many different facets of this story. Me and Mayreen actually realized later, after she had come in for the casting, because we did kind of like a pilot episode as part of that process, that we were both at the Cherry Bombe holiday party in 2024. I was like, oh, wait, yeah, we have actually, this is like invisible string theory, like where we've actually crossed paths.
That's where I met Michelle Adana, too.
Yeah. Oh, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. How we came across Mayreen, it's like, you know, also been a long time coming. Our head of content, Emily Tess-Katz, she used to work in unscripted TV, and she was actually had her eye on Mayreen and was like considering her for a TV show, like developing TV around her. So Emily's been very bullish on Mayreen for a long time. Yeah. And so when we were, you know, casting, we were like, okay, we absolutely have to reach out to Reenie. And she blew us away with One, being extremely, extremely competitive. Like it just it came out of it, like spilled out of her while we were filming the pilot episode. And then two, just like her inventiveness in cooking. That was really what we were like, wow, this is an incredible kind of new take on the cooking format, where this is so creative and inventive, and it makes it so interesting of like, what will a picky eater actually like? Like, what could you do with a mushroom, especially across using different cultures as the toolkit in cooking.
I felt that way the first time I ate your food, and it was when you did that great pop-up.
Oh, Winona's.
At Winona's.
That's 3 years ago.
Yeah, and I think, did I come with London?
Yeah.
Crenshaw. Thank you, London. We went to your pop-up, and the food was so good. And I remember it was just so inventive and interesting, and you seemed like you were having so much fun.
Oh, my God. You know what's really funny? That pop-up, I don't know if you remember, but I had some form of a scallop crudo or tartare, and you put them into like little spheres, like fried spheres. I don't know if you remember this, Carrie, but there was like a raw scallop dish, and that served as the inspiration for one of my cooks and picky eaters the last few episodes where someone hated scallops. Yeah, let's just say that dish is still very, very good 3 years later. So it's hilarious how many of these experiences have lended themselves to being able to be competitive on a show like this. Mm-hmm. Also, you looked at me so funny when she said competitive, which I feel like everyone
Well, you don't give off competitive vibes.
Yeah.
But were you always like that?
Yeah, I'm the youngest of three by 9 years. My sister's 9 years older than me, and my brother's 8 years older than me. I don't share well with my husband. Yeah, there's definitely some personality assessment that can be done here. I am very open and welcoming and in some ways generous, at the same time very greedy in some other ways, including when, I'm working hard on something. I definitely need to like write my name on it and try to win whatever.
So you're no stranger to food TV.
No.
You have worked with Gordon Ramsay.
Exactly.
Tell us about your experience.
Yes, that was the first thing I was ever on a Cherry Bombe show for. It was when I came back from Next Level Chef. That experience also proved to me that nothing can scare me more than maybe like my own opinion of myself. So I'm not going to let a 4-year-old child tell me that they don't like my food. Like, no one can hurt me. Neither a 4-year-old picky eater or Gordon Ramsay. Even when I was on Next Level Chef, the only times I was nervous was maybe when they had their food in front of them and I saw them dissecting it when it's 30 minutes past the cook time and a little too cold.
Who was your mentor on the show?
Richard Blaze.
Richard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nisha Arrington, who we adore. She just got our Superstar Award at our Power Awards. Don't know Gordon, but I love that show.
Yeah.
I just love the set. It's more thoughtful than the average competition show.
Very true. And it's all realistic in terms of you do only have 40 or 30 minutes, whatever they decide for you that day. You are grabbing ingredients in a 30-second time crunch. Again, that's why picky eaters, when you guys interviewed me for it, maybe I did seem really chill at first. And actually, before I came off as competitive, I think that I might have came off as quite soft and chill about it. And you guys were like, okay, but do you really want it? Like, do you really want to win?
This did happen.
And I was like, obviously I want to win and I'm good at winning. Watch my stuff. But I come off as so chill about it. And then once I'm on these shows or in the environment itself, that's when you see the male chefs who've been cooking in Michelin star kitchens, like crying and cutting their fingers. And I'm just, slowly working on my knife work, which isn't stellar, but I'm also very calm and collected, and then I'll just win at the end in ballet flats.
If you're a longtime fan of Cherry Bombs, there's a way to get more involved in everything we do. You can become an official member of the Bomb Squad and get access to all our content on Substack, including cover stories, features, and recipes, and be part of our virtual member meetings on Zoom. You'll also get discounts on events like Jubilee and our upcoming Farmers and Makers Weekend in Paso Robles, California. Membership is $6 per month or $55 per year. We also have a special tier for CEOs, CMOs, and founders, which gets you all the perks of being a Bomb Squad member, plus a subscription to our magazine and access to exclusive events. For more, visit cherrybomb.com. The link is in our show notes. The timing part is what blows my mind. You're filming in real time. You know, it takes however long you give them.
40-minute competition.
40 minutes. But you condense it to 3 minutes?
Yeah. We think 3 minutes is long.
Okay. So now our generational differences are going to be on full display. I know we're all enjoying and watching things that are much shorter, but that blows my mind. And I did watch the first one and I loved it. And I get why it should be that time. But how in the world do you condense a 40-minute show down to 3 minutes and still make it something that people can learn from, where we're rooting either for Reenie or her competitor? Alice, what's the magic?
It's really, really hard. Sometimes it's harder to actually tell the shorter version, the condensed version, than if we had the 5 to 8 minutes and could kind of like include everything, like really take our time. Like brevity and simplicity is actually also very difficult, especially for unscripted formats. You know, part of it is simply that when we are getting hooks and we're thinking about what really matters in the format, we're very intentional about playing with like the hooks inside of the introduction to the show at each segment, asking ourselves the question of like, why is someone going to watch the next 20 seconds of this piece of content? At this exact moment in the episode, do I know why I'm watching for another 20 seconds? And then continuing to like establish those hooks to take you through all the way to 3 minutes, which for us, we're actually like, oh my God, 2 minutes was the initial target, which obviously would be so impossible because we would have to cut out like a lot of the stuff that makes it interesting from a food perspective. The last thing I'll say is, so the producer, his name is Alex Berry, and he pitched us the show. Like, he's the creator of the show. He's also the producer behind a show called The Ick, Submit Your Ick, which is one of the like really big, you know, hit dating shows out there. And so we really look for that in talent, whether front of camera or back of camera, that we choose to partner with, which is just this native sensibility of virality. Like, it feels different. It's hard to fully describe it, but it feels a little bit like being like a pro athlete or something, where you can like go on a streak as well and like go viral multiple times in a row, or you can have a hot hand. I recently learned this in sports. It's a whole own art form, I guess, of like how to tell a 40-minute story, like what could be a network TV 30-minute story, how to tell that story in 30 minutes and build the world around it. It's almost like a new art form, if that makes sense. Like that's its own medium of art.
Reenie, are you worried about losing the culinary aspect at all of what made sort of culinary competitions super popular in the past, or why people still tune in to watch, say, Padma's show, you know, America's Culinary Cup or Top Chef?
Yeah, I mean, so I wouldn't say worried necessarily, though, of course, I'm also an EP on the show, so it's really great that they continually ask me how I feel as we shoot each episode and see the edits and whatnot. So I definitely do express that, like, wow, it's so fun to finally have a space where my personality matters and I'm not constantly trying to prove my knowledge or expertise, and actually it kind of shows for itself through the competition and through me winning the competition. And that piece is there, and I trust that. And then at the same time, yeah, I think it's a fun collaborative process where I do get to share some of my insider opinion on how, like, oh, let's pull from like this part of our conversation that I just had with the picky eater, where she had an interesting reason for why she didn't like asparagus and whatnot. And I think it's nice to focus on it, and like they as in Alex and everyone who works on the show, they come up with interesting ways to spotlight the food while showcasing our personalities and the fun we have in the kitchen at the same time. So yeah, it's definitely no longer the forefront of this exact show at this moment. If it becomes a longer form show, that would be fantastic. And that's when we can really let that sing. But that's why I also do pop-ups, and I'm a chef in like so many other ways. And I really get to highlight that there, and then just highlight the essence of allowing someone to fall in love with an ingredient and all the silliness that makes someone a picky eater.
How do you choose the picky eaters?
Alice, great question. I have that question too.
I would say that we're looking for people with a lot of personality and something to really add to the conversation of the episode that they're in. So I can give you an example where we have Padma Lakshmi is the next picky eater that's about to come out. So, you know, it came out. Woohoo. And the chef that is competing for her love of food is Chef Jen, who's the chef behind Potluck Club in Chinatown. And we just thought it'd be so fun. Her world, his world, that mixing of worlds. And obviously she's such an idol for him. And so when we are picking the picky, it's definitely to like establish someone who's just very interesting to like have their take on these two chefs, if that makes sense.
I was shocked to learn Padma is picky about anything.
She definitely mostly is not.
Except quality.
Yeah.
So what is she picky about?
It was very funny because when we were first, having her on the show and we asked if they had a picky ingredient, she was like, I literally eat everything. So there's nothing. And we had to really be like, okay, it could be anything. And so finally it was chocolate protein powder, which was, of course, one of the hardest things to cook around.
One of the worst texts I've ever received. You're going to be making something out of chocolate protein powder for Padma Lakshmi tomorrow. Great.
Yikes. You probably always wanted to cook for her and to have that be your secret ingredient. Yikes.
Yeah. Really, really, really yikes.
You and the person you're competing against, you do get a heads up so you can plan ahead a little. This isn't like a surprise basket situation.
No, absolutely not. That would be all types of haywire. But we do have a very short amount of time to get our ideas to our culinary producer and whatnot. And by the time I get to the kitchen, I'm always like, why didn't I plan for something else? Why would I make this dish? I was so worried that the competitor chef was also going to make chicken mole out of chocolate protein powder, because what else would I make out of chocolate protein powder? I'm not about to make dessert. Well, he made dessert. And I was actually very lucky.
Don't tell me who won because I haven't seen it yet.
I will not.
But I have to say, not so sure about the mole, but oh, okay.
Yeah,
I guess I'll be surprised.
I'm never sure of anything, Carrie.
Okay. But boy, that's a challenge. And that's an interesting execution of what to do with chocolate protein powder. Okay, to be continued. Reenie, tell me, how did you become a chef? Did you always know you wanted to be a chef?
No. I actually always wanted to be a politician.
What?
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
I know. That's why I went to school. I went to undergrad for international affairs, and I moved to New York to go to NYU for global health and health policy and women's repro rights and health.
Wow, you must have so many thoughts on life today.
Oh, do I?
And
yes.
Especially now that you're a mom.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because I do think a lot of the skills and just public speaking practices I used while in school, and then in the couple of jobs I had in nonprofits after, they were all very communications driven. So distilling extremely, whether it's controversial and or hot topics to masses on social media for these nonprofits I was working for, storytelling has always been a critical part of just how I communicate with anyone. And yeah, even though politician versus chef seems like two ends of a very different spectrum even, I feel just as fiery and sharpened mentally as I used to when I went to school for these studies, because you really do have to stay in the know about culture and politics as a chef. You have to constantly be checking the temperature of the society and cultures you are like tapping into and the audience that you're cooking for and sharing your identity with. There's a lot of research when it comes to, in my opinion, when it comes to being a chef. I think there's a lot of chefs out there that maybe ignore the political side of their work, but it's becoming more and more mainstream, I imagine now. And I know you feel this way personally, Carrie, which is like very refreshing as you run Cherry Bombe to always put politics at the forefront of how you represent yourself and Cherry Bombe. So I'm just glad it is becoming a more mainstream intersection where you kind of expect people in food to have political consciousness.
But you still have to tell us how you made the pivot. That's a big pivot.
Shit. Yes. How did I actually do that thing? I was working at this wonderful women's health nonprofit, and around 2020, when COVID happened and we all had more time at home, I spent much longer on all my lunch breaks and took out my favorite DSLR. I've also been doing photography for a while, so photographing food was something I did, whether I was in my freshman year dining hall at UGA or now in my little New York apartment kitchen and posting recipes right now. So I just continued posting photos of recipes, and eventually my friend told me that I should apply for a job on the editorial team at Bon Appetit. And that was my biggest leap of faith. And I think the leaps shortened little by little over the last 5 years as I continued to grow into new positions, not at Bon Appetit, but just in the food world. So another leap after Bon Appetit was when I went to compete on Next Level Chef. And that was now 4 years ago that I went to go film that. And
it was 4 years ago?
4 years ago. Wild, yes. I can't wrap my head around that, because while it does feel like yesterday that I went on to a cooking competition show as a home chef, I do feel the weight of everything I've learned from the day I stepped off of that set to where I am now, which is often at restaurant kitchens in New York City, because my whole goal leaving that show was I would like to continue putting myself into stressful kitchen environments, because it turns out I can manage it. If I can manage it on this Gordon Ramsay show, I think I can manage it with more learning and practice in the setting of a Brooklyn restaurant where I get to serve my food.
Do you want your own restaurant one day?
Do I want my own
or
restaurant?
what you're referring to is continuing to do pop-ups?
Right.
Collabs.
Continuing to do pop-ups is, that it's not easy, and I would love to have a home for a menu. If that's a restaurant that I own and personally manage and invest in, no, I would not like that. If there's a world in which there's a group of generous and interested people who would love to work on a new concept with me, and I can consult as head chef of a restaurant, that is the dream, because I do think I have always had what it takes to curate an entire experience, not just the food, but from everything involved in creating food memories. That's actually what I tap into when I cook on picky eaters, is I investigate with the picky eater, kind of figure out what excites them. And obviously I'm excited to get to know them, but more than anything, I want to know how I can fill a gap in their presumptions about what it means to eat and enjoy food. So we recently had someone who didn't like pickles, and the typical thing to do is just deep fry the ingredient. I don't like chicken. Okay, here's some fried chicken. I don't like pickles. Okay, here's some fried pickles. And I went a haywire route and said, what if I turn it into a mousse that goes on buttered toast? So I made a pickled mousse.
A pickled mousse.
A pickle mousse.
The
pickle mousse.
Pickle
The
mousse.
mousse wasn't pickled, but the mousse was made of pickles.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
I think I need to see this to fully
Yes.
understand and appreciate.
I think you might even just have to taste it, because unfortunately it's not going to sound good. But I just wanted her to be surprised. I just wanted her to understand the value of pickles in our world and on our taste buds. And I had to turn it into a mousse for her to do that.
Okay. Were you a picky eater as a child?
Yes, in the sense that my poor mother, who cooked all types of foods, any cuisine, she would cook it. And I just had to have some level of control after she finished cooking the dish. So she'd make
You were the
me
baby.
food. Yeah, I know. She would hand me the dish, and I'd pour extra salt on it or something, but not just salt. I would just add yogurt, add cream. I would do something to make it feel like I invented it. And she watched.
Okay. So I guess that was the early evidence that you might become a chef one day.
I guess so. Yes, I've always been a nuisance in the kitchen. Yeah.
I'm dead.
And now you get to do it professionally.
Exactly.
Not to tease it a little, but there may be an episode coming up where Maureen is a picky eater.
Ooh. Okay.
That's the dream.
We're
Okay.
manifesting it.
Yeah.
You'll see when it's out. It's iconic. Well, I'm speaking as if it already happened. I'm like, it will be iconic. Wait, well, I wanted to mention one thing. So it's so interesting because when we were first chatting with you, Maureen, about the show, I like to, ask around in my friend groups just where everyone's at in the zeitgeist, and just I have my guys being dude friends. I have multiple friend groups that have different tastes and stuff. And it was actually my friend group that is very all into international relations, from college, there were multiple of them were like, oh my God, I love Reenie. I've been to her pop-ups. I'm obsessed with this person. So I don't know if you knew that. You had fans. But it's like one of my friends is from Egypt. Like he was, grew up in Egypt and like came here. Another, is from the Virginia area, but comes from a Bangladeshi background. And these are my friends who in college like also studied international relations. So clearly there was something in the ether that drew them to you. Yeah.
There you go.
It's all making sense.
Were you a picky eater, Alice Ma?
Oh, I've never been given the luxury of being a picky eater. My parents, very young, they're like, you're going to eat it, whatever we're getting.
Are you an only child?
I am the oldest child of now 6.
Wow. You're the oldest of 6. I'm the oldest of 5.
Oh, wow. Yes, it's a lot of people on vacation. My parents immigrated from China and they didn't get to be picky growing up. So they beat it into me very early that like I was going to eat what I was given. But I did.
I think also when you're the oldest.
Yes.
You're the one rarely being catered to. Sorry, Reenie. But
she's right.
Usually it's, if anybody gets to be picky, it's the little ones.
My youngest brother is picky and he is allowed to be.
I don't remember when I was a kid, the whole sort of your parents as short order cooks that some parents seem to be today. Like kids eat separate stuff. I don't remember ever having separate food from what my parents ate.
Yeah, definitely not. There was a lot of traditional Chinese cooking that I ate growing up. One of my best friends is Polish, so I would eat their food too. But I did develop an obsession with potato bread. Like I would just get home from school and eat like a whole loaf of potato bread. And I guess that was some form of protest.
Like St. Martin's.
Like a Martin's potato roll?
It's like a yellow,
it
almost like potato bread like you get from the grocery store.
Yes.
Yeah, I would just, when I was in middle school, I would just get home and eat a whole loaf of that.
Okay. Hey.
You're like, I don't know what to do.
Well, I mean, now.
Feel free to use that in the podcast or not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a Martin's potato roll, that is
really
the ultimate roll for hamburgers, sandwiches, lots of different things.
That's the sweetest protest, Alice. That's so kind to your parents.
It's so funny. Do you cook?
I cook Chinese food.
You do?
Yeah.
What do you love to make?
My favorites are mapo tofu, twice cooked pork. I do a really good like egg tomato soup, like century egg congee. I'm kind of working my way through the fine Chinese Sichuan cookbook. I love it because it's so intricate. But besides that, I'm like a one-trick pony in the sense of like I'm really good at specifically Sichuan food for some reason. And everything else I just can't wrap my head around it. Like ask me to like saute broccoli every time. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like it's just coming out weird.
But tender twice cooked pork, you got it.
Yes. The like 20-step process it takes.
I'm trying to remember how I first learned this about you. You were part of a group that almost bought a copy of the Constitution.
Yes.
I know this it was during the pandemic and I was educating myself about DAOs and these groups, and it had something to do with, I don't know, we probably don't have the time to explain this on the podcast, but a DAO was like a group of people using cryptocurrency to purchase things, and you were part of this DAO that was going to buy a copy of the Constitution, and you wound up not buying it.
Yes.
Sounds like a movie.
Yes.
I hope you write the screenplay for that one day.
At some point, I sense that it will be. I just feel like the ending of the story like hasn't been fully written yet, so it hasn't decided to be born. But so in 2021,
did you know this, Reenie? Any of this?
I'm full of surprises.
Reenie's face is like, what is going on?
I'm full of surprises, and I like to go under the radar. I'm like, if someone wants to know something about me, they'll find out a different way than me telling them. Yeah, so we, me and a bunch of friends, we basically raised $53 million in 7 days.
As one does.
Yeah, as one does with Ethereum, to bid for a original copy of the Constitution that was on auction to the highest bidder at Sotheby's. Why would it be on auction to the highest bidder to begin with? Like, it shouldn't be at a museum?
Yes, true. Mm-hmm.
What message is this sending? And I feel like if you're going to announce a public auction, it's fair game from there. If we show up and try to participate in an auction, let us cook. No pun intended.
I have a million questions now. You're right. It should be in a museum. Did the person who bought it have to be American? That's the stupidest question I might ever be asking. Do you want the Constitution owned by somebody outside the country?
No, it's not a stupid question. Because,
that's a really good question. I mean,
who bought it?
Well, it was Ken Griffin, the CEO of Citadel, bought it, which I don't even know what goes on in his thought process to wake up and be like, this is going to be the thing that I do today. Like, why?
Did he donate it to a museum?
He basically ended up having to do that. So he gave it on loan to a museum in, I think it was Arkansas or Kansas. I forgot which one.
I will fact check all this so we don't get in trouble.
Okay. But he also took it back out. So now it's unknown where it is. So it's in his private possession.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like still there. I'm like, okay. Yeah, so he participated in the auction. Sotheby's has a very rigorous KYC process. So it wouldn't be anyone who is like, shouldn't have that document at all. But they definitely have a global customer base.
How much were you outbid by?
The winning bid was $42.6 million, if I remember correctly. Please fact check that. We had 53, but then there was like tax, like there was like a sales tax. There was like all this stuff. And we wanted to have enough set aside basically to like take care of the document because the plan.
That's smart. That's smart.
The plan is actually kind of fun. It's like we were going to basically give it to museums and let the people who participated in and contribute to the crowdfund vote on where it should go next. So we would send it on tour through like a list of vetted museums that are qualified to custody such a like historic document. Like it's a whole thing, right? You have to pass a really, really high bar to be vetted in that way. But like from within the vetted museums, the plan was to send it on tour around the country because a lot of the copies are in like the Northeast. So we're like, wow, it's so awesome if we like actually sent it around and everyone could enjoy it.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Of course.
Who were you at this? Were you a student? What were you doing?
What was I doing?
Yeah.
It was a few weeks into when me and my co-founder started Mad Realities.
Okay.
Like literally like a month after.
This has to be a documentary, Alice. Why are you sitting on this?
That's a good, like, out to the audience if anyone is interested.
Can we make this documentary?
I think it could be fun. I think that there's something really interesting there because, I mean, not to, like, tie it all back to Mad Realities and Picky Eaters, but it really was essentially like a live TV showdown. That's what it ended up being because it was Sotheby's most watched live stream ever. Like, the auction was streamed and it was super, super dramatic. And I just remember the moment leading up to the auction, everyone saying stuff on Twitter, saying stuff on Instagram. There was this really frenetic energy. And as soon as there was this live shared, almost like TV space where people were enjoying it together, in the comment section together, making memes, posting them on Twitter, being connected. There were even people set up live watch parties at bars in different cities. That moment.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, no, but it was crazy because it like released this almost magical energy and connection as soon as we hit that TV moment. And that has always stuck with me ever since, where I'm just kind of like, wow, that sense of community and magic and shared culture that entertainment can create, especially on the internet. It is so unique and so special. And like, I just don't believe the people who are like, yeah, generative AI is coming for all of our, like, I'm just like, why would you ever think that? Because how could generative AI have created that feeling of magic? It gave me that sense of conviction where I'm like, there is something more that's possible in terms of like how we all connect with each other, what culture and storytelling can do.
It's good to hear that from you because you are such a modern thinker.
Yeah. And I'm like, whatever that was, that moment, that's almost the thing I remember and I hold on to that lets me weather the storm whenever, entrepreneurship has all kinds of challenges thrown at you constantly.
I think it's also nice for people to know that there's so much more behind Picky Eaters than it's just a 3-minute competition show on social media. Like there's real thought and both of your life experiences behind this show, which is what I love and makes it so much more than a social media competition show. There's a lot to it. Yeah, this is all making a lot of sense because I think Mayreen and us and Alex and the whole team, we have this shared mission to bring together different parts of different subcultures, different communities, and, tell a story through platforming all kinds of different narratives and food and different cultures as well. Like, I think that's just universally been very important to us and having fun with it along the way. I love
that's
this.
for sure.
Well, I can't wait to see all the other episodes. I'm going to throw a few speed round questions at you both. What beverage do you start your day with, Alice?
Absolutely coffee. As much espresso as possible.
How do you take straight up black?
Latte. Okay, so it's a bit of a paradox because it's as much milk as possible, but also as much coffee, as much milk as possible together.
Do you make your own? Do you go out to get it?
I definitely get a latte. I always go to my neighborhood spot and get a latte.
What's your neighborhood spot?
Ciao Gloria.
Okay, you have to eat bread before you have coffee every morning.
Wait, really?
Just by the way, you're burning your esophagus alive. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Neither Reenie nor I are doctors, but
Wait, I need to, yeah.
we've been doing a lot of disclaimers today of information.
The first thing I drink in the morning is really cold water, which is also, I know, not great for you. But yeah, I need to feel there's an Icelandic geyser.
Oh,
running through
interesting.
my
That
body.
seems to be the opposite of what everyone tells us, that we should be having warm water with lemon.
They're right, but that doesn't matter for me in the morning.
Interesting. Okay. I love it. What are you streaming right now?
The last thing I streamed was House of Dragons.
Reenie?
Hacks. I just started. I'm halfway
So
through.
good. From the beginning or the current
From
season?
the beginning.
Oh, it's great. The last season was perfection.
God.
Yeah.
I love women.
If you had to be trapped on a desert island with one food celebrity and you can't say Reenie, who would it be and why?
Only one.
Only one, unless you have a genius reason to have multiple.
To have multiple? I think I would take Padma Lakshmi.
Good answer.
Reenie's like, what?
She's a very popular response to that question. Tell us why.
Well, she'll eat anything. So, and I feel like she has such high standards and such a high bar for quality. I just would feel very safe knowing that she's the better culinary expert on the island.
Reenie, who would you want to be trapped with on a desert island?
I would want to be trapped with someone who can catch fish and meat and butcher it without me lifting a finger, and also preserve it. Maybe someone like Thomas Straker, because I think...
Tell us who Thomas is.
Oh my gosh, Thomas Straker is probably better known for his videos of making compound butters, but he is an excellent chef in London who runs a very tight ship at his restaurant there, and everyone I know goes and loves it, and he lives up to the hype behind his name. I nominate you, Thomas Straker. Please come make sure we eat well.
Okay,
and
Thomas. I need to look him up. I don't pay that much attention to the guys, as you know. He sounds interesting.
need a strong man on the island.
I'm in the Padma camp, though. Strand me with Padma. I think that would be fun. Yeah.
I'm dead. So funny.
All right. You two are amazing. Picky Eaters. Everybody's got to watch it. I'm so excited for season 1. Also, just admire the two of you. You really are just two exceptional people, and I've really enjoyed seeing what you do in the industry and the intention that you bring to all the things that you do. So thank you for that.
The feeling's mutual.
Yeah,
You're like our fairy
absolutely.
godmother.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's it for today's show. Thank you to Reenie Karim and Alice Ma for joining me. Check out Picky Eaters on TikTok and Instagram. The link is in our show notes. Our theme song is by the band Tra La La. Joseph Hazen is the studio engineer for Newsstand Studios at Rockefeller Center. Special thanks to Good Studio in Brooklyn. Our producers are Catherine Baker and Jenna Sadu. Our executive assistant is Bridget Pittman. And our head of partnerships is Rachel Close. Thanks for listening, everybody. You're the bomb.